Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Teagan, Jessica, welcome to Popternative. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yes, thanks.
Jessica, I do need to ask this because, as soon as it's official that your journey and your story and your book are going to be made into a Netflix film, what is that preliminary mindset? Like, what is going through your mind? I'm just curious about that right off the bat.
What? Like,
Yeah.
but then I don't think I believed it even when you see this set and these hundreds of people doing this. I don't think I even believed it until it was on the big screen in the last few days.
Totally.
I know, it's so crazy. And, Teagan, it's interesting because, based on the book and of course, like based on just the journey itself, I think Sarah does an amazing job because the movie is so breathtaking. It just looks amazing. And I think I want to give a quick shout out. But, you're portraying a lot of like Jessica's journey, and in this journey, there's a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of challenges. So from an acting perspective, what was that preparing for this film where there's a lot of kind of obstacles nonstop in her journey?
Oh, look, I think that everyone's life is full of obstacles, and whether you're on a sailboat in a bit of a vacuum and your obstacles are wind-based, or whether you're an accountant and your obstacles are business, like workplace and just normal everyday life problems, I think everyone has obstacles. And I think for me, it was just about, finding the ones that were similar to my obstacles and, finding the matching emotional experiences that I can draw from to really create some authenticity.
No, 100%. And I know, talking to Sarah, I know Teagan, you guys got to meet each other a good amount of times and have conversations, but you were on the water for a lot of this, focusing, getting into it. But I do need to know, like, what were those first conversations like when you first met? Like, I feel like everyone wants to know.
I know, it's a weird dynamic, eh?
Yeah, it is, but I don't know.
I think it went well. I think we're both pretty good at like just rolling with the punches, So I think we both kind of like,
this is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just playing fake you, and you're fake me in some ways,
Yeah, maybe it hasn't sunk in or something for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think because we put so much effort into creating a character, not just mimicking her, it's made it a lot more comfortable because I'm not just kind of copying her voice. I think that'd be like way weirder. Yeah, so I think it's actually gone quite smoothly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's its own character as well. Yeah.
And I want to ask you before we wrap up, Jessica, because I find it interesting because there's like the source material from the book, which is this is based on, but this is based on an actual journey that happens. So there's like source material all around. What are those conversations with Sarah about? Where there's going to be some stuff from the book, but this is about your journey.
Oh, I mean, so much of it, especially early on, was her wanting to understand the essence of it and the inspiration and that, curiosity that I had that kind of led me down that path. But then obviously as time went on, the questions, Sarah sent me so many, I get these messages like right up until recently when the final kind of cut was done, random question, a lot of like sailing technical detail, things like that. So...
No, absolutely. True Spirit is going to be on Netflix worldwide February 3rd. Thank you all for your time. It was so great chatting with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great chatting with you.
Sarah, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Two main things at play when I'm watching this movie. I mean, the big one is just an incredible story. The story is so amazing. And then just how it looks, the aesthetic, the cinematography, just an unbelievable job with that. For you, mindset-wise, were both those things I just mentioned kind of equal in terms of the mindset of putting this film together, or was one kind of more at play than the other, so to speak, the actual story and the kind of how it looked aesthetic point of view?
I think they both feed into each other. So when I was writing the draft that Netflix ended up picking up, I wanted to experience this sense of isolation like Jessica did on her journey. But didn't trust myself on a boat. So I rented a shack in the Californian desert and, spent several weeks alone. And what really sinked in for me was this incredible sense of nature when you're isolated, this kind of, you know, deeply spiritual and philosophical connection to nature and where you sit in the world. And so those themes were really important for me to be able to tell, you know, viscerally within the story. And so to answer your question, you know, they really worked hand in hand, thematically and viscerally. You know, I really wanted to capture that sense of beauty in nature throughout her journey.
And you did, and it's incredible. Adaptations always interest me, and especially with this one because it's based on Jessica's book. And then, you know, of course, it's based on, like, this actually happened. These are true events. So it's like the true event component of it is source material on its own. So is the mindset different adaptation wise based on, you know, making something based on a book that's fiction? I mean, I feel like it's a different thing with this adaptation.
Absolutely. Yeah. I, of course, referenced the book several times.
Yeah.
You know, I really used the book as a blueprint for the journey itself and a lot of the technical aspects of sailing. In terms of the capturing the emotion and the, like I say, the spirituality within the journey and relationships, you know, central relationships within the story with her parents, her family members, and her mentor, her advisor, Ben, who's played by Cliff Curtis.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time with Jessica and, you know, really kind of tried to dig deep into, you know, why she did this journey, but also how the pursuit of this dream changed her as a person and how it impacted, you know, how she views the world around her.
Throughout this process, was there a lot of interactions? Because I actually don't know because I'm asking, like with Teagan and Jessica, did they have a lot of conversations? Was there a lot of, like, did you get to see a lot of those discussions? Like, what was that like kind of facilitating and seeing those discussions specifically?
We shot the movie on the Gold Coast, Village Roadshow Studios on the Gold Coast in Australia. It's the state where Jessica actually grew up.
Okay.
So she would visit during pre-production, she'd come up and visit at the studio. Once Teagan arrived, I wanted to get her out on the water as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So I think we had our first meeting was a dinner where I think Teagan felt a little intimidated.
No kidding.
You know, meeting the real person that you're about to portray in a feature film. But very quickly, you know, there was a great connection between the two of them. And then the three of us spent a lot of time out on the ocean sailing. You know, we needed to really understand the technicalities and the physicality of sailing. And Jessica was a huge support in that process for both Teagan and myself.
Absolutely. True Spirit's going to be streaming February 3rd worldwide on Netflix. Sarah, thank you so much for your time. It was great chatting with you.
Great to meet you too. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.